Horrible Harry Moves Up to Third Grade. By Suzy Kline. Are we on Mars? I couldn't wait for third grade in room 2B. Same class. Same teacher. Same room. And most important, Harry and I would be together for another school year. Safe and sound. Boy, was I wrong. On the first day of school, Harry and I went walking down the hall. Ready for third grade, Doug? He asked. I'm ready, I said. We slapped each other 5. When we got to room 2B, we stopped dead in our tracks. A tall man with green eyes and a bald head greeted us. Welcome to school, boys. You're not Miss Mackle, Harry said. This is Miss Mackle's room. No. I'm Mr. Mulder. I'm teaching second grade. This is my room now. Harry stepped inside and looked around. Are you hiding her somewhere? Mr. Mulder scratched his shiny head. Hiding who? Harry and I exchanged looks. What was going on? Were we in the right school? We ran outside the building to double-check. There it was in cement just above the door. South School. Founded in 1901. This is crazy, I said. This is weird, Harry said. We're supposed to have Miss Mackle for third grade. Where is she? We walked back into the building. Let's go to the office, I suggested. When we got there, we saw a huge bouquet of flowers. Harry read the little note speared on the plastic fork. Congratulations, Ms. Carpenter. We looked at the lady sitting at the secretary's desk. She had her back to us. She was typing something on her computer. That's not Miss Foxworth, Harry said. Miss Foxworth doesn't have blonde hair. Let's go ask Mrs. Chan, our old kindergarten teacher, I said. We dashed down the hall. Can I help you boys? Asked a young woman who looked like Snow White. I'm Miss Saharek, the kindergarten teacher. H, we screamed. We started pounding our hands on the wall poster, all I really need to know I learned in kindergarten. Finally, the principal showed up. When we spotted his curly hair and mustache, we cheered, Mr. Cardini. Well, hello, Harry and Doug. You boys lost? Yeah. Harry said with his fist in the air. It feels like we're on Mars. Mr. Cardini laughed as he twirled his mustache. I think you two are. Looking for your third grade room. That's upstairs. Didn't you read the number on your old report card? Harry and I shrugged. Take a left at the top of the stairs. Room 3B is the second room on the right side of the hall. Harry and I took off like 2 roadrunners. We zoomed up the stairs in seconds, then took a left and counted 2 rooms down on the right side. This room must be Mars, Harry said. Look at these boulders stacked outside the door. Just a minute, I said. These aren't real rocks. They're grocery bags from Park and Shop crunched up and sprayed brown. Harry smelled the rocks and saw the faint lettering through the paint. Yeah. They're phony. Slowly, we passed through the boulder archway. When we stepped inside, we were greeted by a big sign on the bulletin board. It said, Third Grade Rocks. There were lots of rocks on the display table, but we didn't go over and look at them. We just noticed the class. Hi, Harry! Hi, Doug, everyone shouted. There were Song Lee, Mary, Sydney, Ida, Dexter. And Miss Mackle. Harry ran over and gave her a big hug. I waved. I was just as glad to see her, though. Welcome to third grade, boys. I can't wait to hear about your summer. Forget summer. What's going on here? I asked. Yeah, Harry replied. Who's that bald guy in room 2B? And where are Miss Foxworth and Mrs. Chon? Miss Mackle smiled. Every summer brings some changes. As you know, we moved upstairs. And South School just hired 2 new teachers. Mr. Mulder for 2nd grade and Miss Saharek in kindergarten. Mrs. Chon retired. What happened to Miss Foxworth? Did she fall off a cliff or something? No, Harry, Miss Mackle said. She got married over the summer and changed her name. Now she's Mrs. Carpenter. 10. She looks different, I said. She changed her hair, Miss Mackle said. She's a blonde now. Ooh-hoo, we replied. When the bell rang, Harry and I found our seats. They had our names on them. Mine was by the window. Harry's was next to the pencil sharpener and wastepaper basket. He seemed to like that. He gave me the thumbs up sign. I wasn't so sure, so I just nodded. Was everything going to change in 3rd grade? 2 things in 3rd grade that didn't change. The first thing I did when I sat down was look out the window. Everything looked so different from the 2nd floor. Last year, I could see the school dumpster, lawns, and cars on the street. Now there were just clouds and the sky. Look! Harry blurted out from across the room. There goes Life Star. Mary made a face. I was hoping you might change over the summer, Harry. But you haven't, she groaned. You're still gross. I smiled. At least that was one thing I could count on. Ida raised her hand. Where's the monitor chart, Miss Mackle? Up here, in cursive, she said, point ing to the front bulletin board. It looked like Greek to me. I tried reading it. I couldn't even read the job I had. The rest of the kids' names were in the envelope at the bottom. I couldn't read the words on that either. Temporarily unemployed. Welcome to 3rd grade, boys and girls, Miss Mackle said. I am so excited that we looped. Here we are for a 2nd year together. I hope you all got my postcard asking you to bring a summer memento to class. Everyone nodded. Even Harry. Harry did his homework? Now I knew I was on another planet. Before we have our morning conversation about our summer, let's have our class leaders start the pledge. Harry and Sydney each carried a small flag to the front of the room. I knew why Miss Mackle put them together. They have a tough time getting along. Sydney does something stupid and then Harry gets revenge. I wondered if that would change, too. After the pledge and the Star-Spangled Banner, we all sat down at our desks. Now, Miss Mackle said, let's share our summer experiences. Song Lee, will you begin? Song Lee opened the brown bag on her lap. Everyone leaned forward to see what was inside. My aunt visited us from Korea. When we took a walk, I found this. We watched Song Lee hold up a jar that had something golden inside. It looked like an egg wrapped in silk. Aunt Sun Yi and I found this under a fence post. It is a spider egg sac. In the spring, it will hatch into many spiders just like Charlotte's magnum opus. Miss Mackle sighed. Oh. I could tell the teacher loved Song Lee's memento. She put her hand over her heart. Can I go next? Sydney blurted out. I've got a memento, too. Memento, Mary corrected. No, you can't go next. I have a question for Song Lee. What did you put on top of your jar? Song Lee giggled. Aunt Sun Yi's pantyhose. We cut up an old pair. When everyone laughed, I thought about Song Lee. She spoke English so well now. Can we keep the egg sack in the classroom? Dexter asked. Yes, Song Lee replied. After we all watched her set the jar gently on the science table, we raised our hands again. Go ahead, Sydney, Miss Mackle said. Finally, Sydney groaned. Then he started unwrapping something in aluminum foil. My stepdad and I did a lot of barbecuing this summer, so I brought this as a souvenir. We watched Sydney hold up a burnt wiener. It got left on the grill. Sydney cackled. A lot of people laughed, but Harry and I didn't. We thought it was dumb. Who would bring something like that to class? Sydney LaFleur. I went next. I brought rocks, I said. I got them at the old Newgate prison and copper mine in East Granby. They're real copper. And this is an old Granby copper coin. When I held the stuff up, everyone 0000 had an A ahead. Gee, Doug, Miss Mackle said, writ ing something down on her clipboard. That would be a great place to visit, since we're studying rocks in science. Maybe I could arrange a class field trip to that mine. Yeah, everyone said. Oh boy, I thought secretly. That's what I get for leaving one small part out of my story. I never went down into that mine. I was too chicken. 2 days before my family went to Old Newgate Prison and Copper Mine, Harry and I had watched the movie Tom Sawyer. It was great except for one awful part where Tom and Becky get lost in the mine and Injun Joe falls down the hole in a cave. I made up my mind then I would never go underground. Please, God, I prayed. Don't let us go on a class field trip to that mine. Okay, Harry said. My turn. And he held up a picture of himself